Hey guys, welcome to a top 5 video, more specifically my top 5 Zelda Dungeons. Firstly, I'd like to say all of these are 3D dungeons, and yes, of course, I have played every Zelda game. Secondly, this list will contain spoilers. This video is purely my opinion and should be treated as such. Please enjoy the video. Starting us off is the Tower of the Gods, the 4th dungeon in the Wind Waker. Now, I never played the Wind Waker on the GameCube, but I did get the HD remake, and I can honestly say this is one of the funnest dungeons I've ever experienced. With interesting water puzzles, the command melody, and a nostalgic boss. This place really felt like it left an impression on me, and a good one at that. Where do I even start? This place is awesome. The story of Majora's Mask revolves hugely around the 5 stages of loss: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. This being the final area you visit, you are climbing the tower to the light arrows and thus acceptance of your own demise. For sure, one of the best dungeon designs with crazy light puzzles, and the fact that you have to use all of your transformation masks to complete it, all tied together with the fact that you can flip the entire dungeon upside down. The dungeon is a classic and deserves nothing less than the praise it receives. This dungeon, it revolves around a legend. In this story, the Buddha was strolling alone alongside a lotus pond in paradise. Between 2 lotus leaves and through a clear celestial water, the Buddha peered into hell. Among the suffering, he observed a man, whose sole good deed in life was sparing the life of a spider while walking through the woods. Touched by this act of compassion, the Buddha lowered a string of silver thread taken from a spider in paradise to save the man from damnation. The man, overjoyed by the thought of not having to drown in the lake of blood at the bottom of hell, or be chased up the mountain of needles once again, began climbing the thread to paradise. When the shadows of hell began to fade and the light of paradise was visible, he looked down at the other sinners. Terrified by the assembly of people climbing the thread, the man feared it may break under their weight, and began yelling, kicking, and screaming, telling them this fate belonged to him and him alone. At that moment, the thread broke, and the man was flung back into the lake of blood with the rest of sinners. The Buddha shook his head in disappointment and continued his morning stroll along the banks of the lotus pond. The entrance cistern has 2 levels, above and below, paradise and hell. This combined with the unique water puzzles and awesome boss, this was surely a dungeon to remember. The Sand Ship, a large pirate ship moored in a sea of sand. At first it seems like not much is going on, however, as I'm sure you already know, the Lanera province is notorious for its time shift stones. Stones that make the area go back in time to a point where there just wasn't all sand. The Sand Ship is no different, in the sense that as soon as you get your bow, you can shoot a time shift stone on top of the boat and change the entire design of the ship. There are electric locks that you can only disable by shooting the stone, and others you need to activate in order to progress. Then there's the boss fight, but that's a story for another day. And here are some that almost made it.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Here you are, my top pick, the Palace of Twilight. Now, if you watch my channel frequently, you'll know that Twilight Princess is indeed my favorite Zelda game, so I had to put at least 1 dungeon from this game in the list. Twilight Palace has unique puzzles, a reprise from all the Twilight enemies, one amazing boss fight, and a fixation on everything dark. The crystal balls especially, I felt was a very unique way to actually unlock the main part of the dungeon, as it hadn't been done before. Then, once you're inside, It's a one-way ticket to Zant, one of the most memorable Zelda enemies purely for his fractured personality. That being said though, this is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.